Hello everyone, welcome to the weekly forecast on gold. I didn't make one last week, but I am making one this week. All the links are in the video description. It's going to be the first week of December, so big volume going into the market. So we're going to go over everything on the gold chart now and just prepare for the coming week. You can see on the chart we are in a consolidation. Let's jump straight into it. You can see this is now a consolidation. We're either going to break towards the upside, target a new all-time high, or we're going to continue towards the downside, collect liquidity down here. That's the simple way of looking at it. But I wanted a bit more structure, a bit more of a guideline blueprint so that I can follow something that's more definite. So I went to the higher time frame, started at the monthly. And you can see big movement towards the upside, and we're coming to the end of the year. So not much showing on there. Went down to the weekly, put on the period separators, and this gives you the whole year. And you can see when you start looking at this structure, it's showing you the same characteristics as last year. So this is last year from here to here. This little green box, whatever you want to call it, is December, and you can see obviously the green box is going to be over here for this year. So start of the year last year, you've had that upwards movement, consolidation, continuation up, going in towards the end of the year, November, December, you've had that consolidation sidewards, and it's formed a wedge pattern. And it's the same thing this year. We are following the previous year's yearly profile. So impulse move up like the start of the year, consolidation, which is here, then you had the continuation up, which is here, and now this is the consolidation that you are getting here. So that is what we are looking to trade over the next month. All of December we are looking to follow the same profile and the same price action as last year in December. So this area here, but obviously we can't look at the weekly time frame and then start trading using that. We need more confirmations, more characteristics to follow. So what we're going to do is look down at this area and look at this consolidation sideways like that. So that is what we are going to look at, and just look at where the liquidity is, look at the structure. So what we need is we'll leave it in green. As you can see, we've got liquidity there, price comes down, starts pushing up, bounces about a bit, there's another liquidity grab there. So that is the kind of structure we're looking at so far from the previous year. Price goes into the end of the year and continues towards the upside going into January. Now we go to current time, and you can see all we can do here is grab this and we can just put the consolidation like that, and we'll put another line like that. So that's all we could do on that time frame. Go down to the daily time frame now, and then we can put on the liquidity pool. So we can move these out of the way, make it a bit neater. And let's just put the liquidity on. So this is grabbing this area. That's already grabbed that. That is a manipulation area. That is liquidity 2 that hasn't been collected yet. And we can get rid of these two because they're not really needed. So now we're building a bit more structure. Get rid of the period separator so you can see it a bit more. So what we want to know next is what's likely to happen from here. So we stay on the daily time frame and go all the way to the previous year. And you can see here, this liquidity low was made on the 10th of October. So we go all the way over to this one. And we can see that low is the same as here. 10th of October, we made a liquidity low where price came down, collected that liquidity pool, then started the upwards move. And when we go to last year, that is exactly the same. 10th of October, made a liquidity pool, price came down, then started the upwards move, and you got this consolidation. So this is what we are looking at now. We know it's bullish for the long term, but we are focusing on this consolidation area. So from here, price went up, made liquidity, pushed up, grabbed that. So we need to put a liquidity grab there. That would be in orange. You can also see we have a manipulation area running along there too, so that being grey. So now we're getting a bit more structure, a bit more confirmation on what's happening. That will do for there. Now we can go to current time and just match that up too. So that is your manipulation area at the top, which is dragging along. This is your liquidity grab that we need to do next. So what we're looking for next is that push up to grab that liquidity. That's likely to happen at the start of the week, and then we get a downwards move like that to come down and start collecting liquidity, mainly from here, this area. That would be my first area to target, but we will go down to the smaller time frame in a minute and just neaten things up. So do I need to do anything else compared to last year? I've made them in green, so let's just change those to orange because they are my liquidity colors. Just like that. And this is what I've been doing over the last hour or two, just looking at price action closely and just seeing how it relates to last year's end, because we've had similar, we all know we've had a long term bullish run last year and we've had the same this year, so we're likely to end the year exactly the same. And as we're seeing the same price action structure, I don't see why we wouldn't. So the year before, we got that liquidity grab. That then retraced to collect liquidity. This is your closest liquidity, and it's the same kind of level as over here. Then we go to current time. So what we can see, this is not the same level as this one. So it may come lower and collect liquidity from here, but what we're going to do is just leave this one here for safekeeping. So we get rid of that. Price comes down, collects that liquidity, and then going towards the end of December, you're expecting that big upwards move to target a new all-time high, and that's likely to hit at the start of January. So yeah, end of December, start of January, you're looking to hit a new all-time high. Looking at that price action structure, so this week we are looking for that bearish move. That is the main trade towards the downside, especially after collecting this liquidity. And that is because if you go down to the 4 hour time frame and zoom out, you can see we got this big volume over here. So all of that volume is coming from here. That is liquidity, so a collection of that. It only has to be a slight collection, doesn't have to be anything major, and then you'd be looking for the rejection and getting into the sell. This is very clear liquidity here. This would be a potential bullish support to look out for. So you would have looked to manage your sell trade by that time. Let's just make it a bit darker actually, so it's a bit clearer. So that is the breaker on the 4 hour, which is here. So this would be TP1, and then you'd be looking to target this one for the main area of take profit, and that is a nice, we're looking for a nice big movement down, so around a $200 move towards the downside. So that would be a nice big bit of profit before the Christmas period starts. And then going into the actual Christmas period, so this is going to be around the 20th, I'd say 15th to 20th of December. I will be looking to be down here in this area, and then I will be taking long-term buys to target a new all-time high, and that's likely to take place from the 15th to 20th into the new year. So I'd be looking to hold that trade for 2 to 4 weeks until I hit a new all-time high. So this weekly forecast is really preparing you for the whole month. It's a monthly forecast. Now let's go back to the daily time frame. You can see how that is taking place. So let's just say 1, 2, these double tops are 3, and then 4, and then a new all-time high is 5. So this is 1, this is 2, this is 3, 4, this is a double top, and that would be 5 and 6 all the way up there. I've done that wrong. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5 up there. Let me just double check that. 1, 2, double tops, that's 3, 4, and then a new all-time high is 5. This consolidation is taking a bit longer than the current one, because between this point, that's the 14th, and then a week later you made the first high up here. When you go to current time, the low down here was on the 28th of October, and it wasn't until roughly 2 weeks later you had the first high being made. So the timing is slightly off on certain things, but I'm expecting a new all-time high to be hit at the start of January, because when you go to this price action, this upwards move takes longer than the current one. So this high is currently where we are at, and it says the 11th of December. But when you go to current time, it would be, let's say, the 1st of December, so because it's current time. So this downwards move would be happening earlier on the current price action. So then we bring it forward, the expectations forward a bit. So this upwards move would be happening around the start of the new year at the latest. So that's why it's slightly altered in the timing. So this week I'd mainly be selling, targeting this low, and then around the 15th to the 20th of December I will be looking for a long-term buy to target a new all-time high. I will put this in written form for the VIP members. Links all in the video description, so it's easier to understand, because I did mess up a bit in this video, but all the information is there. Hopefully you can relate. I will take screenshots as well for the VIP members, so it's easier to understand. But that's what I'm looking for this week. Mainly selling most of this week, and Monday and Tuesday I'll be looking for that reversal. If you want proper structure to get into the sell, I'm looking for this liquidity grab to take place. Then I'll be looking for the impulse move to start happening, and that is how I'll get into trade. Then I said long term I'll be looking for a buy down towards this area here, and that'll be a long-term buy for a new all-time high, because I'm expecting this kind of price action to take place going into January. And once a new all-time high has been made, we then start a new year, and then the new yearly profile will start. So you might get a completely reversal happen, but that at the moment is my main structure and my main trading plan over December. Take care. Message me if you've got any questions. All the links are in the video description.